next session for the day is on the topic Effective Sourcing Strategies Transforming Procurement Operations. And for this, I would like to invite on stage Mr. Pinaki Bhattacharjee, Head of Purchase at Apollo Tyres. Giving a brief introduction for Pinaki, holds over more than 29 years of experience and has been recognized in Apollo Tyres Chairman's Award, that is Employee of the Year 2018 and 19, for his outstanding contribution towards the achievement of organizational goals and objectives. Please welcome him with a huge round of applause.
Thank you to all the people who have been participating here, all the professionals, all the laureates of the industry, especially the manufacturing divisions. We have thanked many times the doctors and the nurses who have passed us and helped us to the pandemic time. I'd like to personally thank the manufacturing team who have spent their time in the plants and taking the risk of their own. I don't know how many times I have thanked you before, but I'd like to thank you once again. And I'd like everyone to thank the next person who is sitting there as a colleague, whether you know him or not. Please give applause to each and everyone for the job that you have done already. It is because of you people, the manufacturing team, that we have a V-type recovery that we are proud of today. While all the companies who have participated, like the FMCG, who have supported us during that time, and especially the data management, like whether you talk of Reliance, Airtel, Vodafone's, the amount of services they have given during that time, it is unimaginable. As far as sourcing is concerned, my colleague Mr. Praveen Tripathi is not well, so I came here to give the presentation here. If you look at the sourcing strategy, if you look, and we have near sourcing, multiple sourcing, agility, the supply relationship management, digitalization, JIT versus JIC, and sustainable procurement. This is the topic I'll be covering. One interesting topic I'll definitely take before I start this presentation is the cartelization. I think it's a very, very important topic, and everyone has asked it many times that what you can do. I can tell you one small story that I have done in my organization. This is a real problem which everyone faces today. As this gentleman said that there is people already finalize the price before the bidding starts. Yes, it is very practical, and it is that they want to know what will be the bottom line price, and that's settled. So what I've done, I understood that once time it happened with us that there are 5 companies of a particular item who are planning a cartelization, and we are on a reverse auction. So just before the starting of the auction, I called them up, each and every individual. I told them, congratulations, but you are 5 together here, and every year those all 5 gets a contract. And the congratulations, only one is going to lose. So you now decide who is going to lose here. I'll get only 4 out of them. And there is an amazing thing happened after that, because all are professionals. They can't go to their boss say that I have not got the order. And there is a fight started between them, and we got a very good reductions. So, but you have to know your strength first, and whether you will be able to manage that with 4 suppliers with your supplies or not. You need to do the homework. I did it, and once I did it, the results were there at the end of the day. So ultimately, I took the stand that yes, only one will be out. So you decide who 4 will get the orders. So that's one thought of before starting giving, because this is a very interesting topic. Again that came. So you have to know your strength and weakness. That's very important before a negotiation. Okay. Near sourcing is basically when we look forward for getting the material at the shortest time in our plant. This gives the advantage of shortest time. Also, it will have a better control. COVID has taught us that there will be so many kinds of disruption that will going to end up. We know in the month of March, when there's a lockdown happened, the people who are importing huge number of consignments every month, what they have gone through. I myself had almost 2,000 containers got stuck in the port and no clue that when you're going to get it out. So those things is a real problem which you can really overcome if it's a near sourcing. But you need to understand, do you really need the near sourcing and how much you need? In a global supply chain today, there is a lot of unpredictability. If you just take example of today, what happened with Taiwan and China. We do not know how the logistics will behave in next 5 months down the line or even next months. The consignments which are already at the, in the sea, whether those will really come to you at the right time or not. So these are the challenges, when each and every procurement team members always have a, difficult time every day. When I was young, when I started my career, someone asked me that, why you want to be in procurement? I said, I would like to meet new people, new set of items, and that's very interesting. And he said, just wait. When you reach my age, you will see on a Saturday, Sunday, when your phone rings, your hair will stand up. And that's really true, because when plant operate 24/7, it's really a tough time sometimes because of the logistics challenge. You'll have flood, you'll have some kind of disruptions, some failures everywhere. So near sourcing will always give you a short supply chain. There's definitely, it will really reduce your the transit time, greater control, and of course the cost. As I said, when the container gets stuck, you do not know how much detention you're going to pay with the consignments on those. So, and the dollar especially, which is behaving, you made a calculation at 78 and end up you're paying after, if you have 60 days credit, you're paying at today at maybe 79.50 or something. Those are also costs, probably which you have not accounted for while placing the order. So factor which is governing the near sourcing is basically the cost. Definitely you should understand the cost benefit of your logistics cost, your quality, productivity, analyzing the delivery. I'll just tell you an example. We were sourcing some nylon tire cord fabric once from Russia. The transit time itself is 45 days. By the time you place an order, he ships out the metal, it will be another 30 days. And then around 7 days customs clearance. So if I want to change a specification, just a 2 centimeter width change, it will take more than 90 days for me to change the specification happen. You can do it quickly here. You can just walk into his factory and say, I need this. Change the machine set like that and start immediately when you can understand that what is the effect of you have in your machine. Whether your machine will be adapting on that or not, that's also a question. You do not know with so much of long transit time when it happens like that. It is also very important that to study your competition. What is the competition doing? What I found out during this COVID time is that knowing your competition is very important. What your competition is doing. And you can use maybe your own sources, maybe your suppliers. And it is a fact that during procurement, when you discuss with supplier, there's not knowingly you give a lot of information to him. So your suppliers have a lot of information about your competition. Please leverage that at some point of time to understand what is the competition doing, which direction they are going, what is the new process they are doing it. The other thing is a multiple sourcing. Multiple sourcing today has become a very important factor. Whether it's a local sourcing, even then, how many multiple sourcing you should have. There are certain items which we procure which are not produced in India. But I have a source in Korea, I have a source in Europe, I have a source in Russia. So when this situation came that there's a congestion happening in Shanghai because of the COVID lockdown which was happening, I could move material from Europe. So please, it is very important not only that you have to spread your basket in different directions as well, not everything in the same zone. Don't put everything on the one side. There could be a cost advantage, maybe disadvantage when you're going to Europe today, so please look at that, but keep that window open. Do not close the window because it is, okay, calculation shows it is, maybe 5% higher cost. There was a time when a shipment from China to India was costing more than a shipment coming from Europe to India. Because China is taking the whole world's containers. And most importantly, also as one practice that we do is we trace each and every container. The ship, even with the GPS location, we are able to track where the ship is. When there is a blockade happened in the Suez Canal, we exactly know the ship has passed that canal or it is before the canal. And by that, we are arranging the material from other sources, whether it's India or Europe or any other locations. So the pros is basically definitely once you have multiple sourcing, your risk factor will be definitely low, and you have a competition culture. The cons will be that you'll have a complexity. When you have transit time which varies between sometime even 25 days to 45 days to 60 days, you don't want your all raw material coming in one day and your plant will get choked. Neither don't want that nothing comes on that day. So managing logistics becomes a challenge, but still it is very important to have a sourcing which is outside India as well, because of the fact that while you have a near sourcing strategy, the window should also be open. Recently, there's one major synthetic rubber company in India, which is one of the largest refinery, one single largest refinery in the location in the world. Because of their refinery, they have to shut it down, and they have shut it down very swiftly. And there was a very much hue and cry in the market. What we did is basically the relationship with the suppliers. We managed the sourcing certain volumes. By that time, we also started importing material from Shanghai, Qingdao, Beijing, Korea, and Europe. So there's such a short notice we could manage, and tracking each and every consignment. I'm surprised that some of the consignment landed up in 20 days' time. And by the time we could manage, some of the industry players are not able to manage that. So it's very important to have a multi-sourcing. While there is a pros and cons, but always have multi-sourcing strategy in your basket. The agility, as Mr. I think Amit has said that how fast you can react to the market. The fact is, certain time, even today on 4th of August, I do not know how much production is going to happen this month. While as for imported item, I have to plan 3 months ahead. So the agility to the market is very important, because as a customer, when you go to a shop and in the shop says, I don't have this product, he'll buy another product. So you lose that customer for that deal. So how fast you can support your manufacturing team so that the manufacturing produce what exactly the market wants. 2018, it happened that there was a huge crisis for carbon black, and the whole industry was aware of that time. Our president walks to us on the New Year day and he said, Pinaki, we'll get carbon black. I said, you give your best shot to ensure that I have a stock out. You don't bother whether I have a 5-day stocks, 10-day stocks, or 2-hour stocks. As long as you produce 100%, you don't bother, because I like it. I like your attitude. And I know after that 3 months, almost whole night, I was getting calls from the plants. Even before my RMS people, before they know that the vehicle has reported, the security guard used to call me, sir, gaadi pahunch gaya. And after 15 minutes, I get a call from the RMS that, sir, vehicle has reached. And I never told the RMS person that I already have information, because if once I tell him, he said, oh, he knows, so I don't have to inform. And my wife said, you have not been sleeping for 3 months. I said, don't worry. in this time will also pass, bad time will also pass. So basically the successful supply chain agility relies on understanding the external factors, shapes and supply chain. So please look at the environment. Today what happened with the Ukraine and Russian war, which people thought will be finishing in 4 days, 5 days time, has prolonged already for 4 months, 5 months already. So people are nobody talking about it now. People got used to it. The supply chain has already managed getting material from different sources or from the same sources via some other country. The new challenge will, of course, will be the Taiwan factor, how it will shape up. Supplier relationship management. This is one of the very important key factor that how you basically deal, break, or you die on that day. I really like that when Mr. Prasanna said that 90% is your attitude and 10% is your skill. It is a fact that how you have taken your cycle with the supplier, developing him, holding his hand is very important during tough time. Please also remember that you need the supplier as much as they need you. So it is not that a one-side story. He also needs you as much as you need. There is certain raw material in my industry. I don't get a supplier every day. Neither they get a customer every day. So it's a long-term relationship between both the organizations. At the same time, what is very important is that you have to develop sources to create a competition as well. Hold their hand to ensure that they got developed with time. Have that patience. I again tell you a small story. There was a small supplier in Calcutta who used to come to me for supplying a particular item. He used to supply me only 40 tons of material. And this is a story of around 2008. And one day he came to me, I said, sir, whether you supply me 40 tons or not, my plant will run. I plan it like that. If metal comes, it runs. Doesn't come, it runs. He took it very positively, that message. And today that supplier is supplying me 700 tons of material out of 1100 tons. And he still says, tell me, sir, aapne us din bola tha, you told me that whether I have nothing to do with you. If metal comes, you run. And if I don't supply, still your plant runs. But I like to be a part of with you in a way where I be one of the major suppliers. And he has invested time. We have also invested time with him. Slowly, that supplier has become the number one. And mind you, at a cost, as I'm saying, he's still L1 on cost. So while we have developed him with time, we took that time for developing him, but today he's still L1 supplier and he's still hungry. He said, sir, whatever growth comes, you tell me, I'll put another plant. So executing the supplier strategy is very important, and to develop the supplier is also very important to create that healthy growth. Digitalization, I think, already Mr. Amit has explained. I'll just go in small thing is that what we do is basically the first time when we started our company, we used to get the stocks by a courier, which we used to get after 3 days from Chennai or Cochin. In 2006, we have an email and I say, wow, what a development. I'm getting my stocks by email, a Excel file handwritten and scanned and sent. Then the SAP came. So today what is happening is that digital engagement is basically the data, basically the scanners, etc., all those things, the new devices that has come in to scan your incoming material, issuing of material, all those things have happened. Now that has led to digital workforce who are basically doing this. The digital services are basically what we happened is that we had first of all, we have an email individually, C drive keeping the data. Then we created a server where we used to keep our data and everyone work on that. As we grow out of India, we have an office in Singapore, office, factory in Hungary and in Netherlands. We realized this is not sufficient. So we've gone on a cloud base. So everyone has the access to the data and everyone can do their job partially so that the final design can come up. Only thing I will warn again on the digitalization, everything is moving on the right side. Whether you talk of Paytm or which you got used to now, we got a big basket to delivering our goods, everything is fine. But please, what is very, very important is the security of the data, because today that is the most easiest way of killing your company. The war is not fought with bullet anymore. So every person in the company should be responsible for the data security. It is not only the HR job or the IT job to secure the data. If your data crashes, it's gone. Your company, all equipment will stop. JIT and JIC. JIC is basically just in case. What is very important we found out during this, the chip shortage, the C-class items are always generally got ignored. But the C-class item is basically we just stopped all the factories for the chip shortage. So please, while you all look for the A-class, B-class, please always ensure the C-class item equally important. So sometimes keeping inventory is also good. JIT is good, but just in case is also good in today's scenario. Sustainability procurement, this is a new topic, but I give you a small example again here that we bring raw material in returnable pallets, metal pallets. So earlier when we started the carrier in 2003, 2004, all import pallets is basically plastic or basically wooden boxes. Today we bring almost 700 boxes every day and goes out from my plant. If you count one box is one tree, just imagine how many trees has been saved. And Supplier has designed his plant now with all metal boxes. So these are returnable metal boxes. So it comes, get used and goes back. There is a cost to it. But what you got out of it is, we started using the vertical heights. Earlier we used to keep 1 plus 1, today we use 1 plus 4. So my cost of RM has actually will come down because of the vertical height space usage. And one more item thing which we have done is basically in the carbon black which we use is basically very difficult to handle. It comes in jumbo bags. And very difficult to get rid of those bags, etc. It's an issue actually. So what we have done, we have just our new plant which came up, what we did is basically the carbon black comes in a silo truck. So one truck full of one carbon. It just goes into the silo, straight into the pit, goes to the silo, get used. So there's no issue, no receipt, nothing, everything is clean. And the amount of, the same vehicle goes back, it's 30 kilometers away. We have a tie-up with the supplier, 30 kilometers away, he fills up and come back. So 24/7, the vehicle's coming and unloading the material. So my unloading activity is gone, issue activity is gone. It's a clean environment. My bags, recycling, or those things are gone. Also, as a tire company, what we are doing is recycling some of the material. The tires that you will leave on the store while you change a new tire. There are the companies who pick them up and process it back. To a certain extent, we start using as a reclaim. It's a part of the sustainability journey. One thing is very clear that while we understand that we have to reduce our consumption, we have to reduce our cost, and the growth has to happen. The way today the world is consuming material, this is definitely cannot happen in another 100 years. The first person on a balloon went out is 1903. You cannot do it for another 100 years like this. So sustainability will be something which will happen whether you do it now or you will be forced to do, better you start early on the sustainability journey. Thank you very much. Any questions, please let me know.